Hello guys, welcome to our channel. Today we are discuss about the chapter first of class 7th, integers. Let's see some important notes of chapter first. The first point is set of positive numbers 0 and the negative numbers is called integer. The set of the integer is denoted by I and Z. All integers are denoted by Z and I. The set of positive number, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 up to so on. 0 and the negative numbers, that is -1, -2, -3, -4 up to so on. Then the set of positive numbers 0 and the negative numbers is called integer, which is denoted by I or Z. Let's see the next point. Natural numbers are contained in the whole number. All natural number, let's see. Natural numbers are 1, 2, 3 up to so on. And the whole number is 0, 1, 2, 3 up to so on. Then all the natural number are contained in a whole number, but all whole number are not contain all natural numbers. Let's see the next point. Whole numbers are contained in the integers. All whole numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 up to so on, all are integers. Let's see the next point. Negative numbers are placed on the left side of the 0 on a horizontal number line. Let's see the horizontal number line is this. Then the left side of the 0, which shows negative integers. And the right side of the 0, which show positive integers. Negative numbers are placed on left side of the 0 on a horizontal number line, and 0 is the less than every positive integer. The 0 integer is less than the positive integer, but 0 integer is always greater than the negative integers. Let's see the next point. Absolute value of a number is only its numerical value without considering the sign into the account. Let's see. Absolute value of a given number is only its numerical value. Let's see the -15. Then the absolute value of the -15 is 15. It means the value of a given number without its considering its sign, then it is called its absolute value. Let's see, the next point is properties of integer. The first point is closure property. The property is satisfied with respect to addition, subtraction, and multiplication of the integer. For example, a plus b. If we add a to b, then it belongs to a integer. Then it's a closure property. Same as if we subtract b from a, then it show a integer, then it belong to integer, then it also show a closure property. Then same as the product of a and b belongs to integers, then it is also show closure property. Let's see the next point, cumulative property. The property is satisfied with respect to addition and multiplication of the integer. Let's see, if we add a to b, then it is always equal to if we add b to a. It means the sum of a and b is always equal to the sum of b and a. Then this property is commutative property. Same as the product of a and b is always equal to the product of b and a. Then it's also a commutative property. Then the third point is associative property. The property is satisfied with respect to addition and multiplication of the integer. Let's see, if we add to the sum of b and c, then it is equal to if we add c to the sum of b and a. It means the sum of a to the sum of b and c is equal to the sum of c and the sum of b and a. Let's see, if we add 2, then let's see, the value of a is 2 and the value of b is 3 and the value of c is 4. Then put same as the value of c is 4, then the value of b is 3, then the value of a is 2, that is 2. If we solve 2 plus 3 plus 4, that is 7, is equal to 4 plus 3 plus 2, that is 5. Then the sum of 2 and 7 is 9 and the sum of 4 and 5 is also 9. It means if we add a to the sum of b and c is always equal to the sum of c and the sum of b and a. Let's see, same as in product. The point is the product of A into to the product of B into C is always equal to the product of C into to the product of B into A. Let's see, the value of A is 1 and the value of B is 2 and the value of C is 3. Same as the value of C is 3 and the value of B is 2 and the value of A is 1. Then if we solve the bracket, then 1 into 2 into 3, that is 6, same as 3 as it is 2 into 1, that is 2. Then the next 1 into 6, that is 6, is equal to 3 into 2, that is always 6. It means the product of A to the product of B into C is equal to the product of C into B into A. Then it shows a associative property. It means the integers are show associative property. Let's see the next point. The point is distributive properties. Multiplication is the distributive over addition and subtraction of the integer. It means the integers in the multiplication over addition or subtraction, then it show a distributive property. Let's see, the product of A to the sum of B and C then is always equal to A product of A into B with the sum of A into C. That is called distributive property. Same as in subtract. Let's see, the product of A into B minus C, then it is always equal to A into B minus A into C. This is called distributive property. Let's see, let's assume the value of A is 1 to the product with B plus C. Then the value of B we assume is 2 and C is 3 is equal to the product of A into B. The value of A is 1 and the value of B is 2. Add with the value of A is 1 and the value of C is 3. Then we solve. First we solve the bracket. 2 plus 3, that is 5, is equal to 1 into 2, that is 2, and 1 into 3, that is 3. Now the product of 1 and 5 is 5 and the sum of 2 and 3 is also 5. It means all the integers are show the property of distributive in multiplication over addition and subtraction. Let's see the next point. The point is A and minus A are the additive inverse of each other. A and the minus A are the additive inverse of each other. Let's see. The additive inverse of A is A, and the additive inverse of minus A is also A. It means the additive inverse of A and minus A are inverse each other. Let's see the next point. 0 is the additive identity for integer. It means if we add 0 to a given number, then the number have no effect. Let's see. A given number is 6. What we add to a given number, if we add to a given number 0, then 6 plus 0, that is 6. And then the given number have no change, that remain same. It means 0 is the additive identity for the integer. Let's see the next point. 1 is the multiplicative identity for integer. It means if we multiply of an integer with 1, then it remains unchanged. It means 1 is the multiplicative identity for the integers. Then the next point is division by 0 is not defined. If the integers is divided by 0, which is not defined, which is not defined. Let's see. Adding two positive integers result in positive integer. If we add two positive integers, then the result is always in positive integer. Whereas if we add two negative integer will result in the sum with a negative sign. It means if we add two negative integers, then the result is the sum of the two numbers but with the sign of negative. Let's see. Adding two positive integers, let's see, 5 and 4. These two numbers are positive integers. Then if we add two positive integers, then the result is the sum of two positive integers, 5 plus 4, that is 9. Then next is adding two negative integers. Let's see, minus 4 and minus 5. These are two negative integers. Then the sum of the two negative integer is, if we add minus 4 2 with minus 5, then the result is in the sum. Result is in the sum. It means 4 plus 5, that is 9, with a negative sign. It means the right answer is minus 9. Let's see. But the addition of two different signs, if we add two integers which have opposite sign, will result in subtraction only, and the sign of the result will be same as the larger hash. Let's see. If the integers have opposite sign, it means one is positive and one is negative. Then the sum of the positive integer and the negative integer is result is subtraction, and the sign of the given result number is depend on which number is greater of the given numbers. Let's see. The two opposite integer are +5 and -7. Then the sum of two opposite integers are then the sum of the two positive integers are is result is subtraction, that is 7 minus 5, that is 2, and the sign of the result is depend will be same as the larger number. Then the 5 and 7 which have the larger number, that is 7, and the sign of the 7 is negative. Then the result have also same sign, that is -2. Then -2 is the right answer. Let's see. The sum of two positive integer, then the result is always in positive. Then the sum of two equal and opposite integers, the sum of two equal and opposite integers is always 0. Same as the sum of two negative integer, then the result is always in negative. Then the same as the subtraction of two same integer is always 0. Let's see. The closure property of the integer, it means the sum of two integer, then the result is also a integer. Then the same as the the subtraction of two integer, then the result is always belongs to a integer. Next is commutative property. Commutative property of a integer is the sum of integer a with the integer b is equal to the sum of integer b to the integer a. Same as the difference of a and b is not equal to the difference of b and a. Let's see. Assume the value of a is 2 and the value of b is 3. Let's see. The sum of a and b, that is 2 plus 3, is equal to the sum of b plus a, that is 3 plus 2. It means 2 plus 3, that is 5, then same as 3 plus 2, that is also 5. It means the associative property of the addition of a integer is obey, but the commutative property of a subtraction is not obey. Let's see. The value of a, that is 2, subtract the value of b, that is 3, is not equal to the value of b, that is 3, subtract the value of a, that is 2. If we subtract 2, sorry, if we subtract 3 from 2, then it gives -1, is not equal to, if we subtract 2 from 3, that is 1. It means 1 is not equal to -1. It means the integers does not obey the commutative property of subtraction. Let's see. The next point is associative property. The associative property is, if we add the sum of a and b to c is equal to the sum of b and c with a. But the associative property of subtraction is not obey for the integers. The difference of a and b subtract c is not equal to the difference of a and b minus c. Then the next point is distributive property. The distributive property of a integer for addition is a multiply with to the sum of b and c, that is a into b add with a into c is always equal. It means all integers show the distributive property of addition. Then the same as distributive property of a integer of subtraction. Let's see. The product of a to the subtraction of b minus c is equal to the difference of to the product of ac and ab. ठीक है? It means the integers show the distributive property of subtraction. Let's see. The next point is addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction are two primary arithmetic operations in maths. Besides these two operations, multiplication and division are also two primary operations that we learn in basic maths. The addition represents the value added to the existing value. For example, a basket has two balls, and if we add two more balls into it, then there will be four balls. Similarly, if there are 4 balls in a basket, and if we take 4 balls in a basket, if we take 2 balls from out of the basket, then the basket is left only 2 balls, which show subtraction. Addition and subtraction are only used for integers, but also rational number and irrational number. Addition and the subtraction is not used only for integer. It is also used for rational and irrational numbers. Therefore, both the operations are applicable for the real numbers. Then the addition and the subtraction both are applicable for the real numbers and the complex numbers. The addition and the subtraction algebraic expression are done based on the same rules while performing algebraic operation. Let's see the next point. Rules to add and subtract. How we add to the integers and how we subtract to the integers. Integers are specially group of numbers that are somehow positive, negative, or zero, which are in not a fraction. All integers have a special group of number that is positive, maybe negative, or maybe zero, but they are not in a fraction. Rules for addition and the subtraction are the same for all. Let's see. Negative sign and the positive sign. The integer which we add or subtract could be positive or negative. It means if we add two integers or if we subtract two integers, then the result will be maybe positive or maybe negative. Hence, it is necessary to know the rules for positive and the negative symbols. The positive sign is that is this, and the negative symbol and the sign is this. Then the point is addition for integers. The three main possibilities in the addition of integers are: first is addition between two positive integers and addition between two negative integers, and the third is addition between positive and a negative number, या फिर addition with two opposite numbers, या फिर integers. Type of the numbers: addition of two positive integers, then the operation is add, then the result is always in positive. It means if we add two positive integers, then the result is always in a positive integer. Then the next point is if we add two negative integers, if we add two negative integers, then the result is always in negative. Let's see, minus 10 is a negative integer and minus 15 is a negative integer. If we add minus 10 to the minus 15, then it's a minus 25. It means the sum of two negative integer, then its result is always in a negative integer. Then the next point is the subtraction of positive and the negative integer. Let's see. The sum of one negative integer and one positive integer. Then the results show the sign is the integer which have greater. Let's see. If we add two opposite integer, that is one is minus 10, add with to the positive integer, then the opposite integers always subtract, then 15 minus 10, that is 5, and the sign of the result show by the greater integers, and the greater integer is 15 and the sign of 15 is positive. It means the result is also in a positive integer. Let's see the next point. The sum of two opposite integers, if there are the greater integer is negative, then how we solve? The sum of 10, which is a positive integer, to the sum of negative integer, that is minus 50. Then the two opposite integers give result with the operation of subtraction. Then 15 minus 10, that is 5, and the sign of the 5 depends upon the given integers. The given integer is 10 and 15. Which one is greater? Then 15 is greater than 10. Then the sign of, the symbol of 15 is minus, then the result is also in minus. Then minus 5 is your right answer. Whenever a positive number and a negative numbers are added, then the sign of the greater number will decide the operation and the sign of the result. It means if we add two opposite integers, one is positive and another is negative, then the sign of the result shown by a operation which have the greater number. In the above example, if we add 10 to the minus 15, then a positive number add with to a negative number, then the result is 5 as respect to subtraction. Then the symbol of 5 is depends upon the given integer. Then the given integer have 15 is greater than to another given number. Then the symbol of 15 is 5. Sorry, symbol of 15 is negative. It means the result is also in negative. Let's see. Here without sign 15 is greater than 10, hence number will be subtract and the answer will be sign of the greater number. We know that the multiplication of a negative sign and a positive sign will result in a negative sign. If we multiply a negative integer to a positive integer, then the result is in negative integer. Same as if we multiply positive by negative inside the bracket, therefore the result is become also in negative. Alternately, to find the sum of two positive and a negative integer, take the absolute value means to remove any negative signs of a number and make number positive of each other and then subtract these values. Take the above example, let's see. 10 is a positive integer, add with to a negative integer. If the alternately, if the integers are in opposite sign, then we subtract the integers and take the absolute value. And the absolute value of 10 is 10 and the absolute value of 15 is 15. Then the subtraction of or the difference of 15 and 10, that is 5. Then the symbol of 5 shown by the greater integer, that is 15, and the sign of the 15 is negative. Then the answer is minus 5. Thus, we can conclude the above table as follows. Adding two positive integers result in a positive integer. If we add two positive integers, then result is always in a positive integers. Then the next is, if we add two negative integers, then the result is with a negative integer. Then the next point is the addition of a positive and a negative integer. If we add a positive integer to a negative integer, then it gives maybe positive or maybe negative integer. It depends on the value of the given number. Let's see, the next is the sum of an integers and its opposite is always 0. It means the sum of equal and the opposite integers is always be 0. Let's see subtraction of integers. Like in addition, the subtraction of integers also has three possibilities. There are subtraction between two positive numbers or subtraction between two negative numbers. And the third is subtraction between a positive number and a negative number. For case of calculation, we need to denote subtraction problems, the addition problems. There are two steps to perform. These are given below. Convert the subtraction sign into a addition sign. After converting the sign, take the inverse of a number which comes after the sign. Once the transformation is done, follow the rules of addition given below. Let's see. The value of minus 5 subtract with 7. The step 1 is change the subtraction sign into addition sign. Let's see. Subtraction sign is changed into a addition sign. Then take the inverse of the number which comes after the sign. Inverse लेना जो after the sign that is 7. Then take inverse of the 7, that is minus 7 and minus 5 as it is. And add put the sign greater number. Then add 5 and 7, that is 12, and greater sign, greater number, that is 7, have sign is negative. Then the result is also in negative. Then minus 12 is the right answer. Then the next point is additive identity and the additive inverse. Additive identity for every integers. If we add 0 to a given integers, then there will be no effect. It remains unchanged. If we add 0 to a given integers, then the result is remain unchanged. It means the additive identity of a integer is 0. Additive inverse. For every integers, let's see, a for every integers a, and the additive inverse of the a is minus a. Then the minus a is the additive inverse of a, and it is additive inverse of minus a. For example, an integer is 2, then the additive inverse of the 2 is minus 2, and the minus 2 additive inverse is 2. It means the integers show the additive inverse property. Let's see the next point, property of multiplication of integers. First is closure under multiplication. For every integers a into b, every integer a and b, then the product is also in a integer. That is closure under multiplication. It means the product of a and b is equal to the product of b and a. Multiplication by 0. If a given integer we multiply with 0, then the result will be 0. Then the multiplicative identity is 1. If we add 1 to the integers, if we multiply by 1 to the integers, then it remains same. It means the multiplicative identity of a integers is 1. Associative property of the multiplication. It means the product of AB to the C is equal to the product of A into BC, which show the associative property of multiplication. The next is distributive property of a integers. It means A into the product of A to the sum of B and C is equal to the sum of AB and AC. We show the distributive property of the integers. Therefore, multiplication of integer is the repeated addition as, where a and n are both are integers. Next is division of integers. When a positive integer is divided by a negative integer. A positive integer is divided by a negative integer, then the quotient is always, a positive integer is divided by a positive integer, then quotient is always in a positive integer. Let's see, if we divide 6 by 3, both are positive integer, then the quotient is 2. That is also in a positive integer. Then the next is when a negative integer is divided by a negative integer, then the quotient is in a positive integer. It means if we divide minus 3 to minus 6 to minus 3, then minus cancel out, and 6 divided by 3, that is 2. Then the quotient is in positive integer. Then the next is when a positive integer is divided by a negative integer, or a negative integer is divided by a positive integer, then a quotient is always in a negative integer. Introduction to zero. Integers are collection of numbers which is formed by whole numbers and their negative. Integers collection of the numbers of positive numbers, negative numbers and a zero numbers. Operation on integers. Addition of integer. The first point is to add two positive number. We add their values and give positive sign to the result. If we add two positive integer, then the result is always in positive integer. If we add two negative integers, then the result is always in a negative integer. And third is if we add one positive and the one negative integers are added by subtracting them and given the sign of the greater number of the result. It may be positive or it may be negative. Next is subtraction of integers. While subtracting integers, menu remains the same and the sign of the subtract will be changed and then added. Subtraction is nothing but adding the mind and subtract by the changing the sign of the subtract. Let's see. If we subtract 12 to 15, then change the sign of 12, that is minus, then 12, 15 minus 12, then the subtraction is 3. Next is multiplication of integers. To multiply two integers, first sign are multiplied and then the numeral are multiplied. Let's see. The product of two positive integer is always in positive integer. And the product of two negative integer is always also a positive integer. It means the product of two same signs, is result is positive integer. And the product of two different signs, then the result is a negative integer. The next is division of integers. To divide two integers, first sign will be divided, then numerals are divided. Let's see. If we divide a positive integer with a positive integer, then the quotient is always positive. If we divide a negative integer to a negative integer, then the result or quotient is always in positive. Same as if we divide a positive integer to a negative integer, then the result is in negative integer. Same as if negative integer is divided by a positive integer, then the result is negative integer. The sixth point is, in a exponential number, base is the number which is repeatedly multiplied. Exponent is the number which tells how many times the base has multiplied. It means, let's see, the given number is x, that is base, and the power is 7. It means the power show how many times the base multiplied, that is 7. It means x की power 7 shows x into x into x into x into x into x into x. It shows the 7 times, sorry, it shows the power shows how many times the base has multiplied. Okay? That is called a exponential number. Next point is, if the exponent of a negative integer is odd, then the value is a negative. It means a negative integer, that is 5, and the power of the minus 5 is odd, maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe 7, maybe 9, then the result is always in a negative integer. The eighth point is, if the exponent of a number of a negative integer is even, the base is negative, and the power of the negative integer is even, then the result is always in a positive integer. Then the next point is, using BODMAS rule, we simplify the numerical expression. The order of the removing the bracket of an expression is follows. First point is, we remove the bracket. The type of the bracket is parenthesis, flower, square brackets, then lastly. And the next is, bracket is preceded by a negative term, then on removing bracket, the sign of the term inside the bracket will be changed. If the sign outside the bracket is given negative, the sign of a integer which is in a bracket, then its sign क्या होगा, चेंज हो जाएगा. Then the next is, if a bracket is preceded by a positive term, the bracket is preceded by a positive term, then the sign of a inside the bracket remains unchanged. Let's see. If a bracket is preceding by a negative term, it means the bracket, the outside the bracket gives a negative sign, then the result या फिर we solve the bracket shows the negative inside the bracket will be changed. Then the next is if a bracket is preceded by a positive term preceded by a bracket, then on removing the bracket, the sign of the term inside remain unchanged, will not be changed. The important questions to be start in the next video of chapter first of class 7th. Thank you. Have a nice day.